The sound of crashing waves and the smell of sea air can mean only one thing.
It's time for another update on the sailing skill.
I'm GentleTractor.
And I am Heboxjonge.
And in this video, we'll be looking to bring everyone up to speed with where sailing is currently at in its development, with a focus on how you can actually train the skill.
Now, not everyone likes every single training method of each skill, which is no surprise when you consider how large and diverse the player base is.
For example, some people prefer a more laid-back skilling experience,
while others like playing highly engaging content as efficiently as possible.
Ideally, a good new skill should be able to offer meaningful variety in its training methods.
So, let's take a look at how sailing's training methods might appeal to different types of players.
Before we jump into the deep end, it's perhaps worth taking a moment to remind ourselves what sailing is aiming to be as a skill, as well as what it even means to be a skill. In the most basic terms, skills can be defined by their purpose, their identity, and their core gameplay loop. Sailing's purpose is to interact with unique things at sea and to discover new places. Its identity is utilising a boat as a tool, and its core gameplay loop involves clicking on facilities to interact with the world using your boat. As you level up sailing, more of the ocean will become available to you. However, sailing is so much more than just a glorified transport skill. It's about engaging with the sea as an entirely new biome and meeting all the new creatures there, dealing with new threats and finding new treasures that you'd never encounter back on dry land. Getting around on the ocean will naturally be quite important. Fortunately, navigating your ship is as simple as pointing and clicking on the sea in the direction you want to sail. It should feel both intuitive and familiar, while still offering fresh and skillful gameplay opportunities thanks to its authentic ship-like turning and momentum. Once you're out at sea, you can start leveling. To start gaining sailing XP, you can interact with a number of your ship's facilities. One of the most obvious is your ship's sails.
That's right, to become an experienced sailor, you first need to learn the basics of navigating your own ship. The sails play a crucial role when it comes to traversing the seas of Gielinor, so it's important to understand how your sails exactly work. When out at sea, every once in a while your sails will start to luff, which means they lose their shape and begin to flap in the wind, affecting your boat's movement. As a sailor, it's your job to trim the sails to ensure that doesn't happen. Originally, failing to trim your sails in time would result in slowing down and eventually stopping your boat, but that wasn't such a fun way to train. Now, luffing doesn't slow or stop the boat. Instead, you get a short window of opportunity where trimming your sails will get you sailing XP and a nice speed boost. Besides luffing and trimming, you can also interact with the sails to change the speed your ship is traveling at. That way you can traverse narrow pathways and tight turns without disrupting your journey.
So, what can you do out at sea? For exploration and adventure fans, you can consult your captain's log and start charting the sea. Make use of additional tools, from spyglasses and diving apparatus to crowbars and current ducks, to interact with various things you find out at sea. Sip on mysterious floating drinks, enlist mermaids to scour the ocean floor for you, and follow a duck. Yes, an actual duck, as it guides you through hidden sea currents. The ocean will be filled with different things for you to stumble upon and interact with. Not to mention all the brand new islands and points of interest just waiting to be discovered. Every time you successfully chart something, you'll gain a one-time sailing XP drop. You might come away with some ship upgrades in the form of a keg. This ship facility will let you store the new beverages you discover, letting you and your crew drink them to gain all kinds of sailing-themed buffs. Sea charting will appeal to completionists and collection loggers. But it also reminds us of the very start of our RuneScape journey, when everything was an exciting new discovery. If you'd rather have some clear direction with your skilling, head back to port and see what's on the notice board.
At most ports around Gielinor, you will find these notice boards. From here you can take on various tasks to help out the locals. Port tasks will provide a reliable source of XP and GP per hour, with the added bonus of offering varied scenery. Sailing involves traveling to and from different places already, so it makes sense to pick these up as often as you can to earn XP and rewards along the way. You will begin with 2 slots for port tasks, but the amount of tasks you can take on will increase based on your sailing level. Each port has a unique set of repeatable port tasks, which changes every day, so it almost provides endless possibilities to combine multiple tasks when traveling between all the different ports around Gielinor. There will also be different type of port tasks to create even more variety. First, you have courier tasks. These are fairly straightforward tasks where you transport goods from port A to port B, using your cargo hold on your ship. Simply take your task, collect the cargo from the port's loading bay, take it to your boat and then store it for transport. Set sail to your destination and then unload the cargo and speak to a port master to collect your reward. Bounty tasks, however, are another type of port tasks. Inspired by the hugely popular hunt rumors, bounty tasks will send you out to fight dangerous creatures at sea. Upon completing port tasks, you will be rewarded with sailing XP and some resources. This includes both new and old ores, fish and logs, and you can find uses for them at sea or back on land.
Looking to sit back, relax, and take it easy while gaining some sailing XP? In that case, you're going to want to sail your boat over to the nearest shipwreck, then interact with your salvaging hook to start collecting what you can from the wreckage. This action is just like resource gathering in other skills. Salvage is placed directly into your inventory as you gather it, and it can be stored in your ship's cargo hold. Once the shipwreck is depleted, you can head off in search of a new one. Or, if you're full on salvage, you can take it back to port to sort through at a salvaging station and see what useful items you might extract. Salvaging the wreckage itself is cooperative with other players, and will give a small but steady trickle of sailing XP. The salvage loot could include planks, bars and nails, as well as rare or unique treasures. This includes some of the new resources that will be introduced with sailing, such as larch, pine, cedar or rosewood planks, or the fabled cursed gold ore. These new items can be used to upgrade your facilities. For example, you can make better salvaging hooks out of stronger metals that can then be used at higher level shipwreck sites. So, if you're a big fan of chilling out and socialising at the nearest shooting star, or chopping away at a redwood tree, shipwreck salvaging might be right up your street. For those of you in search of something a little more intense, a group known as the Barracudas have been setting up tricky trials around Gielinor's oceans.
A Barracuda trial is a leaned-in, focused and repeatable method of sailing training. It appeals to those who enjoy pushing the limits of navigation and rewards those who take the time to truly understand ship movement. Barracuda trials are currently early in development, as navigation needed to be fully complete before it could be started. As such, there is no gameplay to show you just yet. But let's talk about the design. A Barracuda trial takes place in an instance piece of content copied from the real location at sea, where you'll be navigating your way to a series of obstacles. Each trial will have some variation to keep you on your toes. Your goal is to complete it as efficiently as possible. Barracuda trials award a lot of XP, but on your journey to level 99, you want to be using all of the different training methods, because there is a lot to unlock with sailing, including boat upgrades which will help you complete these Barracuda trials even faster. This way, players who want to train sailing exclusively via Barracuda trials are free to do so, but you will want to assess whether it's the most efficient way to train. As you progress through sailing, you will be unlocking more Barracuda trials. For launch, at least 3 trials will be included, but more trials could be added depending on community feedback. Let's take a look at the first one, the Karamjan Run. The Karamjan Run is currently located along the northeast coast of Karamja, although this may change later in development. The trial master is called Rumdashed Ralph, and he loves putting fledgling sailors to the task of producing his specialty, the Whirlpool Surprise. This is a cocktail which can only be made by experienced sailors. The recipe is simple. You need to obtain fresh bananas, a lost shipment of Karamjan Run, and fresh sugar canes. Then mix them all together on your boat, while sailing through turbulent waters. Only the sturdiest, speediest sailors are capable of creating his special concoction. A set amount of XP is awarded for completing the trial, so the faster you can complete it, the greater XP per hour you will receive. Barracuda trials will also offer untradeable items such as upgrades to facilities, access to new NPC crewmates, or even to new pieces of sailing content.
Before we close out the sailing gameplay discussions, we should briefly talk about ship combat. While it's still in very early stages of development, the Old School team knows how important this exciting feature is for the community. Rest assured, when the time comes, you'll be able to blast your ship's cannons at some scary sea monsters, or fend off fearsome pirates with the help of your crew, all while gaining sailing XP. Before the Old School team gets there though, they want you to help shape that journey forward. You'll have the chance to give your feedback after engaging in sailing's first proper playtest.
That's right, the Sailing Alpha is on its way. The team has gone way beyond navigation at this point, so you'll be able to test out loads of features from the new skill. The current plan is to add some of the content we have talked about today to the Sailing Alpha for wider community playtesting, so that the team can get your feedback while testing the tech. So where in the first half of 2025 the Sailing Alpha will become available for everyone.
And with that, we come to the end of our sailing skill update.
Be sure to stick around in the future, as there will be so much more to come from sailing beyond what's been discussed here today.
Whether it's being able to head out on your own fishing vessel as you track down shoals of fish,
exploring the vast array of content found on new and exotic islands,
encountering new characters and cultures,
or one day, maybe even taking on an entire raid somewhere out on the ocean.
There's something in sailing for everyone.
And all of it is influenced by your feedback.
So, make sure your voices are heard and give the Old School team constructive criticism to help shape sailing into the best skill it can possibly be.